It's terrifying to think about what a car owner goes through when they wreck a multi-million-dollar car. And sometimes it's just a security guard who is asked to simply park the car. I've compiled for you the most epic incidents involving terribly expensive supercars, from the silliest mistakes to criminal overconfidence. And at the end, there's an absolute shocker. A crash involving 12 cars worth tens of millions of dollars. Watch till the end. You won't believe what recently happened to one of the supercars created by Gemballa based on the Porsche Carrera GT. This occurred in the heart of Manhattan on a very quiet day, April 7th, when there were almost no cars on the road. Well, behind the wheel of this stunning supercar was 33-year-old millionaire Benjamin Chen. He's known as a collector of rare cars and co-owner of Gold Rush Rally, which organizes exclusive tours to amazing places in America for its wealthy clients. But here's the trouble. As a result of a crash with several parked cars, the supercar lost its right wing, trunk lead, and practically tore off the bumper. Incredibly, despite such damage, the driver clearly was not deterred. He tried to continue driving but was stopped by the police. It turned out that Chen was intoxicated, a classic case of drunk driving, only in a supercar. It seems a powerful start from a traffic light led to the unfortunate accident of this Lamborghini Gallardo owner. The impressive dynamics and power of a supercar can sometimes lead to unforeseen situations, especially if the driver decided to simply show off in front of other car enthusiasts. Sad, the car is indeed cool, but the driver wasn't so lucky. The restoration cost about $100,000. This incredible story happened at the Nürburgring during the testing of the Koenigsegg One. The hypercar, speeding up to 110 miles per hour, collided with a metal barrier and flew 70 feet, and I'm not exaggerating, it literally flew. It flipped over and landed on its left rear wheel. Incredible, isn't it? And after all that, it even caught fire. As it turned out, the fire was caused by the carbon fiber frame coming into contact with the heated elements of the exhaust system. But what's amazing and commendable, the test driver emerged from this crash almost unscathed. He left the car on his own and didn't suffer serious injuries, and the car was restored. The other supercars in my compilation can only envy such durability. This beauty, worth $1.4 million, was much less fortunate. The Koenigsegg CCX was traveling on a regular road near Nuevo Laredo, about 9 miles from the Mexican-American border. At high speed, this powerful hypercar, boasting 817 horsepower, hit the curb and flipped several times. Incredibly, despite the car practically turning into a pile of separate parts, miraculously, the driver and passenger survived. Praise to the engineers who were able to make such a safe frame. During a luxury and wealth car rally, a Ferrari owner particularly stood out, who for some reason decided to show off but failed to make a simple turn, crashing into the barrier and blocking the road for the other supercars. When showing off really costs a lot of money. This incident occurred in Monaco, and from the footage taken by an eyewitness and posted on Instagram, it's evident that the engine compartment of the Ferrari was engulfed in flames. The fire was extensive even under the car's floor, indicating a possible fuel leak. The Ferrari F40, created for the anniversary of the Italian company, became the first production car to reach a speed of 210 miles per hour. This sports coupe was a coveted object for everyone. Due to huge demand, instead of the planned 400 units, between 1987 and 1992, the Maranello company produced 1,315 cars. Moreover, this was the last Ferrari model created with the involvement of the company's founder, Enzo Ferrari. Each unit of this model was a real treasure, priced approximately between 1 and 1.5 million euros. A car on fire. And here's another Ferrari, though more modern and exclusive than the F40. It's Ferrari's first hybrid car, produced in a limited edition of 710 units. But one of these 963 horsepower monsters caused a stir by crashing into barriers. A witness to the incident, who recorded the aftermath and posted it on Instagram, claimed that the passenger was not buckled up and flew out of the car upon impact. However, later published photos from the local police make one doubt this version. The windshield remained intact, though cracked. For context, the current price of this car is approaching $2 million. What happens when an electric supercar gets into an accident? The Rimac Concept One, with a staggering 1,224 horsepower and a price tag of $1 million, was destroyed during the filming of the second season of the Grand Tour. One of the show's presenters, Richard Hammond, was driving this innovative car made in Croatia, and during a hill climb competition he flew off the road on a sharp turn. There were almost no guardrails and the terrain was hilly, so the car fell down the slope and burst into flames like a match. Fortunately, Hammond was unharmed, and only 6 Rimac cars remained on our planet. It's important to remember that driving on wet roads requires special caution due to poor grip and car handling, but apparently the driver of this Ferrari somehow forgot about it, putting his friend in a Lamborghini in jeopardy. Rowan Atkinson, the famous British actor, also known as a passionate collector of rare and fast cars, had several accidents in his McLaren F1, which had a power of 627 horsepower. Atkinson bought this supercar in 1997, and the first accident occurred 2 years after the purchase. It was a minor incident. The actor simply collided with a small Austin Metro car in traffic. However, a much more serious incident happened in 2011 in Cambridgeshire. On a rainy day on a wet road, the car lost control, went off the track and crashed into a pole and a tree. As a result, the rear part of the car was almost completely destroyed, and Atkinson suffered a shoulder injury but managed to get out of the car on his own. The McLaren seemed completely beyond repair, but Atkinson received a record insurance payout in the UK of £910,000. In 2015, the revived car was sold to another British resident for £8 million, which was equivalent to $12 million at the exchange rate at the time. Quite a flip, this Mr. Bean. The incident in Monaco in 2011 captured the world's attention. This crash was then called the most expensive in the world due to the estimated damage of several $1 million. The collision occurred near the entrance to the Monte Carlo Casino and the Hotel de Paris when a lady in a blue Bentley rammed several cars: a Rolls-Royce, Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari and a Mercedes-Benz S-Class. The driver, Ukrainian singer Margarita Smolanskaya-Galitskaya, daughter of the head of the State Employment Service Vladimir Galitsky, claimed that the car simply jumped forward. Technical expertise confirmed this version of events, making the case even more astonishing for many. It seems Monaco has become the capital of wrecked supercars. The incident with the Lamborghini Aventador in 2014 is proof of that. Here the driver made a mistake. He rushed to release the brake pedal while in drive mode. The video shows that the supercar was not crashed by the owner but by a valet. Of course I feel sorry for the guy, but I hope the car was insured against such situations. Luckily, the damage wasn't very significant. The price of the Lamborghini Aventador is indeed impressive, at least €255,000, so even the slightest scratch can cost as much as several months' salaries of the valet. As I mentioned, slippery roads can be particularly dangerous for supercar owners. This requires special caution and respect for the power and speed of these cars. A single moment of misunderstanding can lead to serious consequences, and unfortunately sometimes it ends in a collision with a wall or guardrail. Incidents like the one involving the driver on a Ferrari 458 Spider on an Italian motorway, where he suddenly pressed the gas while turning the steering wheel on a slippery surface, are a prime example of overconfidence. Often drivers try to show off their driving skills in front of friends who capture such moments on camera, and sometimes this thirst for an impressive display can lead to an accident. It's important to remember that safety should always be a priority, even when showing off the capabilities of your car. A rather strange incident occurred with a $1 million Bugatti Veyron, though the guys in the video thought it was a Lamborghini. The video shows how the car veers off the road and plunges into the water. Wow! At first glance it seemed that the speed was not very high. However, after that the supercar required not only thorough drying and cleaning but also serious repair. It later turned out that the owner of the Bugatti Veyron, Andy House, had deliberately arranged this accident to get a large insurance payout. He intentionally didn't turn off the engine for 15 minutes after the car was submerged in water to increase the extent of the damage. In his explanations, House claimed that the accident happened because he was distracted by a pelican. However, accidentally recorded video helped expose him. House had to pay a significant fine and narrowly avoided imprisonment. Disregarding rules for changing lanes across a solid line can be dangerous and lead to accidents, as happened with this Ferrari 458. The driver of the car with the dashcam started maneuvering across the solid line without ensuring the safety of the maneuver. The supercar owner was also clearly exceeding the speed limit, especially when exiting the tunnel, when the sun can suddenly blind you for a few seconds and it's difficult to instantly react to turn signals. It's a pity for the Ferrari, as the car costs about $300,000 and it's unlikely to be restored here. What happens to a Lamborghini Huracan at 200 miles per hour if it crashes into a guardrail? Correct. Only a metal stain will remain on the car. A sad but instructive example that shows high speeds should not be used on public roads. The driver proudly recorded how he raced along the highway and reached insane speeds, overtaking ordinary cars. You see the result yourself. Unfortunately, no one survived, and at such a speed it was simply impossible. Learn from others' mistakes, because showing off is not worth your life. The owners of two virtually identical Lamborghini Aventador S decided to have an impromptu race on the COVID-19 pandemic-emptied streets of Singapore. The spectacular race of the Italian supercars, even painted in the same black and yellow color, ended in a crash. The quirky accident happened at a traffic light when one of the Lamborghini Aventador S cars stopped abruptly, and the owner of the second supercar failed to react properly. As a result of the collision, the engine compartment of one of the cars started smoking, and the driver had to use a fire extinguisher. The cost of these two cars is over $1 million. Another paired incident with two Ferrari supercars occurred in the Italian city of Osimo. It was also captured on surveillance cameras. The drivers were moving at high speed, lost control of their vehicles, and sequentially rammed the fence of a villa. The fence was strong enough to stop both the Ferrari 296 GTB Assetto Fiorano and the F12 Berlinetta, preventing them from falling into the pool. Surprisingly, both drivers turned out to be friends who took the cars for a fun weekend. Apparently, one couldn't handle the supercar and the other decided to join in and didn't leave his friend in trouble. And these two were just standing on the porch when a driver in his powerful Corvette crashed right under them. The car was traveling at about 110 miles per hour on a regular city road. Hero. The driver lost control in the turn, miraculously not hitting this couple. Is it necessary to say that he shouldn't exceed the speed limit? Now about a really expensive accident. In Japan, there was a massive road incident involving 14 vehicles, including 8 Ferrari supercars, 1 Lamborghini, and 3 Mercedes. The total cost of the damaged cars approaches $15 million. According to media reports, the accident happened on the Wet Chugoku Expressway in western Honshu, Japan's largest island. The accident was caused by a 60-year-old driver from Fukuoka Prefecture who collided with the divider on a rainy road. His red Ferrari just lost traction with the asphalt. Fortunately, there were no fatalities, but 10 people, 5 men and 5 women, sustained minor injuries. As you can understand, most accidents with supercars occur due to drivers' overconfidence, trying to demonstrate the capabilities of their powerful machines on public roads. Thank you for watching.